My friends, we are living in a generation obsessed with image, influence, and instant success. We celebrate what is loud, fast, visible, and popular. But God writes His greatest stories in silence. God does not rush. God does not follow trends. God does not choose the way people choose. And that's why tonight, I want to take you away from the spotlight, away from the palace, away from the crowd, and bring you to a field. Because that is where David's story begins. David was the youngest son of Jesse, not the strongest, not the tallest, not the most qualified. When the prophet Samuel came to anoint Israel's next king, Jesse didn't even think David was worth calling. 7 sons stood before the prophet, strong sons, impressive sons, warrior sons. But God said, "Not this one, not this one, not this one." Finally, Samuel asked a painful question. "Are these all your sons?" And Jesse said, "There is still the youngest, but he is keeping the sheep." Church, hear this. David was forgotten by people, but remembered by God. And when David walked in, dusty, unnoticed, smelling like sheep, God spoke words that shake generations. Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. Let me preach this clearly. God does not choose based on appearance, education, connections, or popularity. God chooses based on the heart. If you feel overlooked, if you feel ignored, if you feel like nobody sees your faithfulness, lift your head. God sees you. You may be hidden, but you are not forgotten. You may be unseen, but you are being prepared. Samuel poured oil on David's head, but after the anointing, there was no throne, no announcement, no celebration. David went back to the field. Church, this is where many people get confused. We think anointing means immediate elevation. But God often anoints long before He promotes. Why? Because calling without character is dangerous. God will never rush you into a place your heart cannot sustain. So if God gave you a promise, but you are still waiting, don't complain. Don't compare. Don't quit. God is shaping you in secret. One day, David walks into a battlefield, carrying food, and he hears a giant mocking God. Goliath is loud. Israel is silent. Fear has taken over. But David asks a holy question. Who is this Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God? David didn't see a giant. He saw an opportunity for God to be glorified.